and I love you, but Jesus loves you the best, and I bid you good night, good night, good night. Lord, I bid you good night, good night. One of these mornings bright, early and fine, good night, good night. Not a cricket, not a spirit gonna shout me home, good night, good night. I go walking in the valley of the shadow of death, good night, good night. And his rod and his staff shall comfort me, good night, good night. Oh, John the wine, he saw the sign, good night, good night. Oh, John say I seen a number of signs, good night, good night. Till they for the art that wonderful boat, good night, good night. No, they build it on the land, get water to float, good night, good night. Oh, tell before the beast at the ending of the wood, good night, good night. No, he eat all the children when they wouldn't be good, good night, good night. I remember quite well, good night, good night. Now I was walking in Jerusalem just like John, good night, good night, good night.